Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here to introduce to you a new music-themed book tag that I created. This is the Cyndi Lauper book tag. I created the Queen book tag quite some time ago, but I decided I wanted to create a book tag for Cyndi Lauper because this year she has reached quite a few milestones. She's celebrating her 70th birthday, and she is celebrating the 40th anniversary of her first top hit. It was back in 1983 that Girls Just Want to Have Fun was recorded, released, and hit the charts. And it goes to show you that it doesn't matter how old you are. Many of your artists hit it big in their early 20s, often even younger. Many of them start as kids. Even though Cyndi Lauper started her career in her 20s, it was when she turned 30 that she really started to hit it big. And I think that should serve as an inspiration to all of us, no matter what we want to accomplish, that it's never too late to follow your dreams. But I created a total of 12 questions based off of different songs that Cyndi Lauper sang. And the first one, fitting enough, is Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A work that shows girls or women happy or having fun. And I'm going a bit of the reverse, more out of the box as far as this one is concerned. And I picked Bunny by Mona Awad. I did not like this book. And the fellow students in Samantha Heather Mackey's MFA in creative writing capstone class, there were 4 of them, and they referred to each other and themselves as bunnies. And they had this fraternity-like cult that they engaged in, and it was just really creepy and outlandish, but they were very much happy and having fun in the context of their crazy interactions and activities. Because generally, I don't read a lot of books where girls are, in particular, in moments of ecstasy and having fun amongst themselves. But next prompt is Time After Time. A writer you find yourself returning to time after time, whether their works are good, bad, or ugly. And for that, I'm going to go with Stephen King. I've read a lot of books of his that were amazing. Others pretty good, some okay, and then there's a few that I wasn't too fond of. But regardless, he is somebody that I keep returning to, I want to return to, I would like to read his entire backlog. Because I feel that he's proven that he's good at fleshing out works. Next is Bop A, a work about a suggestive subject. And for that, I am going with The Vine by Robert Herrick. I was introduced to this poem in British Literature 1, and the poem pertains to the speaker fantasizing about his penis transforming into a vine that takes control over a female subject that he has his attention on. It's quite interesting the way that he's incredibly descriptive in his illustration of this fantasy. And it really shows the fact that there are no boundaries when it comes to poetry. Next is All Through the Night, which, to be honest, this was one of the hardest prompts to put together. But a writer you became immersed in once you approached their works. And for that, I'm going with Robert McCammon. I thought that Boy's Life was fantastic. The way that it really takes an honest approach that we do not see often in literature or any kind of story-based media is a remarkable thing. I also enjoyed reading Mystery Walk, and his short story Eat Me was quite intriguing and very well. The picture that it painted was very horrifyingly creepy and engaging. But I do want to read much more. I want to read Robert McCammon's entire backlog, too. Next is Money Changes Everything. A writer whose works seem to become too mainstream with time. And I'm going with the obvious answer for this one, or at least the obvious one in my mind, and that is James Patterson. I really enjoy the Alex Cross series and the way that that was put together. And his earlier works, in particular when he was writing his own, I thought that they were very much a thrill. But then he became it became more just to have things out with his name slapped on it. And it became far more about his co-authors putting the piece together. It's an interesting collaboration where they do that and then he comes in and gives his input, but he's the one he's the driving force because of the name. And so he pretty much makes a boatload on that method on the craft of other writers. And the other thing to keep in mind is that there are commercials for James Patterson's works, which really says a lot. Next is The Goonies Are Good Enough, which is a song that was part of the playlist and the soundtrack and made appearances in the Goonies movie. And that is a work that motivates you to get fit. And for that, I chose Martha Stewart's Vegetables on the basis that these are fine, delicious, and healthy options to eat well and still enjoy eating. The other one I picked was Soda Politics, which is the more negative end, whereas Martha Stewart's Vegetables is a positive way, what you should be doing. Soda Politics depicts what you should not be doing. This was written by Dr. Marion Nessel, and this pertains to how soda has been able to make a significant appearance and throw its weight around as far as being a obvious and acceptable option when soda has a lot of negative attributes to it. Arguably, the most unhealthiest thing that you can consume is soda. The other one I'd like to check out is Meat-Free Monday. Meat-Free Mondays that Paul McCartney put together. It's a cookbook of vegetarian and vegan recipes. Next is True Colors, a work that motivates you to be who you are. And for that, I went with my all-time favorite poem, and that is Prayer by Louis Untermeyer. And the reason I chose that poem is it is a yearning to be able to keep who you are and want to continue to strive for more, even when you get to a point where you feel that you've accomplished everything you've been able. And I think that we should always be trying to accomplish, even when we feel that we've done everything that we could. Next is Change of Heart, a writer whom you are still trying to get into and find the right work. And for that, I'm going with Saul Bellow. I really am intrigued by the his work and his honest depiction of of central subjects that are generally Jewish men that are perfectly flawed individuals. To me, Seize the Day was miserable. The Adventures of Augie March was okay. I thought Herzog was better, and Henderson the Rain King was better as well. But I want to be able to get into something that he's written that really just immerses me. And while Herzog and Henderson the Rain King were 4-star works, I thought that I'm hoping that I could find something that is either 4.5 or 5 stars from Saul Bellow. And I know he's very highly acclaimed, Nobel Prize winner, and achieved many of other honors too. Next is I Drove All Night, a book you had to stay up well into the night to finish. And for that, I went with The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And this is a book I finished the last 150 pages within one sitting. And I was just engaged by how immersive it was in the fact I think this book really speaks to its generation. And I think that it was just a very appealing and heartfelt piece in its own way to its target audience. And I Drove All Night was actually originally written for and recorded by Roy Orbison, but the Cyndi Lauper version garnered attention first. The Roy Orbison version came out on a posthumous album, King of Hearts, in 1992, which was the additional recordings from when he was putting together the Mystery Girl album. Mystery Girl came out in 1989, also posthumously. Next is My First Night Without You, a book-related event that left you empty. And I'm going to warn for spoilers, and that is for Cujo. And the thing that really left me empty was the death of Tad Trenton. Because Tad Trenton was a young boy who was dealing with a fear of monsters. He thought that there were monsters lurking in his bedroom in the middle of the night, and he ends up crossing paths with the rabid Saint Bernard Cujo and succumbs to his horrors. And just the ending was just so heartbreaking. The way that they just had to move on. Next is Hey Now. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which is the reggae version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A writer that is creative with alluding to previous works of theirs, and I'm going to have to go again with Stephen King, because Stephen King is excellent when it comes to incorporating characters from previous works into other works. And it's very easy on the basis that many of his works are set in Maine, and many are even in the same areas. I know that in 11/22/63, the central character, when he goes back into time, does come across two of the characters from It. And then Ralph Roberts from Insomnia makes an appearance in Bag of Bones. Next is Into the Nightlife, a newer Cyndi Lauper song. It came out in 2011, and it's very much a club song. A work that explores the sinful underbelly of humanity. And for this, I wanted to more so go with sinful lifestyle, as in actions, rather than what some may see as being sinful because of whom you are. But the first thing I thought when I thought of sinful underbelly of humanity, I thought of On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Because these are a bunch of beatniks engaged in, the ultimate goals of theirs are a bit frivolous, but they're also engaged in pretty sinful choices when it comes to drinking and drugs and whatnot. You could say smoking too, but that's what I think of when I think of sinful. Next question is, what is your favorite Cyndi Lauper song? Mine is My First Night Without You. It is just so, it's just so passionate, and just the whole, it just really immerses me. I do get a sense of goosebumps, especially when it really starts to pick up right from the first slow part, and then it really makes that jump. And Cyndi Lauper's just amazing with that song. She's amazing with all of her songs, but that one in particular is a heavy hitter for me. And finally, who are my nominees? I'm going to nominate 10 people to complete this tag. I nominate James Holder, Steve Donahue, Heather from Love Me Some Sarcasm, Michaela and Gretchen from Betwixt the Books, Kara from Wild Book Garden, Brian from Bookish, Kira from Kira Was a Diver, Giselle from Giselle's Book Garden, Summer from Sterling Reads, and Kazon from Always Doing. I want to thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. I highly encourage you to subscribe if you like what you see, and if you really like what you see, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will allow us to provide you, the viewer, with even more great content. For now, keep reading.